Pleasure to have you join us on Anglican Cable Network Nigeria. This is the news on the hour. I am Charles Philip Owakolam. You are welcome. The Primate of all Nigeria, Anglican Communion, His Grace the Most Reverend Nicholas Oko, has lamented over the state of insecurity in the country. According to the Primate, Nigeria used to be a peaceful country with people living together without fear and suspicion until corruption sprung up. Primate Oko commended the federal government for the efforts made in the fight against insecurity, as he also called for the release of Leah Sharibu and others held in captivity of Boko Haram and the bandits.
It is unfortunate that discourse on insecurity in Nigeria has become endless. A country that was once peaceful, with people living everywhere together, without fear and suspicion. Why the masses are suffering for no just cause, some privileged few have turned the regrettable situation into business, defrauding international organizations in the name of NGOs, while some others divert public funds and materials meant for the IDPs. As we commend the federal government for the efforts made in the fight against insecurity in the land, we urge that the fight should be directed towards the sponsors of this heinous crime against humanity, no matter who they are. In that way, we may begin to see some permanent positive results. We equally wish to call for synergy among the security agencies, so that our resistance is not weakened further. Pragmatic steps should be taken to eradicate suspicion among the security agencies for the good of the nation. Posterity will not forgive us if we forget Leah Sharibu, the Chibok girls, and many others in the captivity of Boko Haram, bandits, and others.
Primate Oko also lamented over the increased rate of joblessness of the youth of the country, as he urged the government to improve the economy and create conducive environment for the youths to explore their potentials.
The youth of a nation is her strength, but that is when they are adequately empowered. When they are jobless and idle, they become the problem of that nation. This is the case of Nigeria today. Our youth have become tools in the hands of selfish, privileged few because of idleness. One viable solution to sustain tranquility in the polity is to get our youth gainfully engaged. It must not be with government white-collar salary jobs. What is required most is for the government to create a conducive environment for the youth to explore their potentials. The Standing Committee wishes to call on the federal government to work out avenues of improving our economy. Most of our youth being humiliated and even killed in other countries. We need to work towards growing the nation's economy, both for our own good internally as a people and for our image in the Committee of Nations. Reviving the economy is one viable solution to sustainable development that will keep majority of Nigerian youths in the country.
The Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion has elected 2 archbishops to the ecclesiastical provinces of Aba and Ondo, respectively. The election was done at the Cathedral of St. Peter Anglican Church, Asaba, by the House of Bishops at a one-day Episcopal Synod. The Most Reverend Isaac Chijioke Nwobia of the Diocese of Isialangwa South was elected Archbishop for Aba Ecclesiastical Province, while Archbishop-elect of Endo Ecclesiastical Province is the Most Reverend Christopher Omotunde of the Diocese of Ekiti. Christians have been admonished to fight the good fight, defend the authentic gospel against errors, and guard the faith which was delivered to them by their fathers. This was the assertion of the Archbishop of Bendel Ecclesiastical Province, the Most Reverend Friday Imahai, and the Bishop of Asaba Diocese, the Right Reverend Justus Mogeku. The clerics also reiterated the need for Christians to have an active faith, obeying God with courage.
The global environment is very hostile to Christianity. This hostility has led to official persecution of adherents to the Christian faith. The revisionist agenda of the Western world, postmodernism, liberalism, ritualism, legalism, intellectualism, atheistic philosophies, and the onslaught of radical Islam have not helped matters. As we are charged to fight the good fight of faith, we must defend the authentic gospel against errors, correct false and heretical teachings, and guide the faith of our fathers once delivered to the saints. Christ is all in all, as Christ is both the path and the prize. Once we are able to fight the good fight of faith, we will lay hold on eternal life with the Lord.
We believe that it is most apt and relevant given the circumstance in which we find ourselves today. The gospel-bearing church is itself a target of the flaming darts from the pit of hell. Today, Christianity is most endangered faith in the world, even in the former so-called Christian countries of Europe and America. But we, soldiers of Christ, must keep up the battle till the strife is won.
The governor of Delta State, His Excellency Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, has called on the church to be prayerful and have faith in God. He stressed that faith is the catalyst for answered prayers. As such, the church should believe that every prayer made for the church will definitely come into manifestation. The governor made this statement in his address at the Cathedral Church of St. Peter's Anglican Church, Asaba, during the formal opening of the Church of Nigeria Standing Committee meeting.
Many of God's children are very good at exercising faith for finances, faith for healing, faith for children, and faith for material blessings. However, when it comes to faith for the nation, we are unfortunately found wanting. We are not often as determined and steadfast in exercising faith for a transformed Nigeria as we are when it comes to our personal needs. We tend to give up quickly, especially as we are daily bombarded with headlines of all that are going wrong in our country. That needs to change. When it comes to politics and governance, we must also embrace and exercise the spiritual discipline of walking by faith and not by sight. Hence, we must resist the temptation, no matter how strong, to join those in the habit of continually condemning and speaking evil of the country. It is impossible for us to pray right and then speak wrong. What happens after prayer is as important, if not more important, than the actual prayer. Our words as Christians are powerful. Begin today to speak healing, peace, prosperity, progress, and accelerated development to Nigeria. For if we do, we shall have what we say. Church of Nigeria, to continue to pray for Nigeria. At these very trying moments, the country needs the prayers of the righteous. It's not about the complaints of the righteous. It's not that we cannot speak out, but let us speak with the power that is in us and the power of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Moving on to national news, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, has reiterated the importance of a united Africa to effectively break the back of corruption so as to return the stolen assets to their countries of origin. The President made this known at the meeting of some African leaders and development partners in New York put together by the African Union Development Agency, New Partnership for African, as well as EFCC, to chart the way forward with regards to fighting corruption.
We need ideas on how to return the stolen assets to their countries of origin. We also need strategies on how to plug the loopholes that enable companies to avoid paying commensurate taxes in their countries of operations. You should deliberate on practical ideas to enhance global acceptable assets tracing and freezing and boost the recovery governance framework.
The president further noted that in the last 5 years, his administration in Nigeria has made significant progress to curb corruption and further urged other African leaders to adopt the pragmatic ideas on how to strengthen their anti-corruption institutions to reduce or effectively eliminate illicit financial flow.
This is one reason why the Nigerian government supports this initiative of African Union Development Agency, New Partnership for Africa's Development, and remains committed until we ensure that there are no safe havens for stolen assets from Africa. I have high expectations for this meeting. At the end of the deliberations, I expect other African leaders to adopt the pragmatic ideas on how to strengthen our anti-corruption institutions to reduce or effectively eliminate illicit financial flow.
Meanwhile, also in New York, the president, through the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyama, has reeled out major discussions he had in a bilateral meeting with the President of Portuguese Republic and the former Prime Minister of Australia in a closed door regarding security, economy, democracy, rule of law, and the development of infrastructure.
Mr. President talked about the measures that were being taken to provide to safeguard the security of the ships, and also he talked about piracy and other challenges, security challenges in the Gulf. They looked at the terrorist challenges and the steps that needed to be taken to address that issue. He talked about Portugal's support for Nigeria in those challenges. And then also, of course, the issue of irregular migration and the challenges that that's posing for Europe, the need for the European Union to be also supportive of Africa in addressing economic challenges. As you know, one of the Portuguese-speaking countries of Africa, Guinea-Bissau, is going through a very difficult period at the moment. The Portuguese president, recognizing that Nigeria has a lot of influence in the region, is very keen for Mr. President to support maintaining the government in power so that they can carry out the elections November 24th this year.
We now go on a short commercial break. News on the hour shall be back. Please stay tuned.
Why do we fall ill? Is it possible to stay without falling ill? Is God interested in our health? Can we get access to cheaper health anywhere? Do you want tips on how to stay healthy? Then join me, Angela Weze, on Health Watch every Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. with repeat broadcasts on Thursday at 2 p.m. and Saturday at 1:30 p.m. as health experts provide answers to your questions on how to remain healthy physically, mentally, socially, and spiritually here on Anglican Cable Network Nigeria. God bless you.
You're welcome back. Thanks for staying tuned. For more on our top stories, please visit our website at acnntv.com or youtube.com/ACNNTV. To be up to date with our news and other programs, download the ACNN app for Android from Google Play Store. The Bayelsa Governor, Mr. Seriake Dixon, had effected a minor cabinet reshuffle in his administration, according to a statement by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Mr. Fidelis Soure, the Commissioner for Environment, Mr. Ebipate Apangolo, has been moved to the Ministry of Youth Development. It said the Commissioner for Youth Development, Mr. Udengs Eradiri, will now be in charge of the Ministry of Environment. Eradiri is a former president of the Ijaw Youth Council, IYC. The statement also said that Dixon also assigned Mr. Chusin Obosi to the newly created Ministry of Non-Governmental Organizations, Cooperative and Diaspora Affairs. It added that all appointments were with immediate effect. Nigerian Communications Commission has threatened to impose sanctions, including prison, fine, and confiscation of equipment being used by some companies and agencies of government to illegally occupy 5.4 GHz frequency band. The so-called 5.4 GHz has less traffic through use and it can handle more traffic more efficiently, hence its popularity. But the NCC said that some companies, including agencies of government in 11 states, were occupying the 5.4 GHz frequency band illegally. The regulator named 63 entities, including 3 government agencies, 6 banks, and 55 telecoms and technology companies. The identified companies operate in Akwa Ibom, Benue, Cross River, Delta, Edo, Enugu, Imo, Kaduna, Kano, Lagos, and Oyo states. The commission, which addressed a document to all the unauthorized users, said the 5.4 GHz band spanning 5.430 to 5.725 GHz frequency range had been licensed in Nigeria. It stressed that transmission of signals or use of equipment in any form on the band without a frequency license obtained from the NCC is illegal. The Kaduna State Command of National Drug Law Enforcement Agency said that he had made a total seizure of 929.318 kilograms of drugs. According to Bala Fage, State Commander, NDLEA, the various types of drugs that were seized includes cannabis sativa, psychotropic substances, and fresh stems of cannabis. He made the declaration while briefing the press alongside Commissioner, Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruwan, on the public seizure made in the month of September 2019. He also stated that the agency will not relent in its commitment to flush out hard drugs and bring to justice drug traffickers in Kaduna. And now to international news. Steps towards lasting peace took place in South Sudan when political leaders joined in prayer with church leaders to reaffirm their commitment to peace, unity, and reconciliation. A national prayer breakfast held at the Presidential Palace in Juba was organized by the South Sudan Council of Churches, where the Archbishop of South Sudan, Justin Badi Arama, preached what he described as the message of love, calling on the church leaders, senior government officials, and members of the opposition who all attended the event to embrace themselves in peace and harmony and forgive each other. He prayed for God's forgiveness on the leaders and citizens of South Sudan, saying they need purification to move forward. South Sudan's President Salva Kiir vowed to unite the country and reaffirmed the commitment to partner with opposition leader Riek Machar to restore peace and stability, as efforts to form a unity government in November gather momentum. An indigenous bishop, Right Reverend Melta Jiki Thais from Sabah in Malaysia, has been elected as the next Archbishop of Anglican Province of the Southeast Asia. Bishop Melta Thais, the Bishop of Sabah, will take up his new role in February 2020 following on from Archbishop Moon Hing. Delegates from the 4 dioceses of Kuching, Sabah, Singapore, and West Malaysia gathered for an extraordinary synod from 23rd to 25th of September to elect the next archbishop and to discuss the establishment of new dioceses in West Malaysia. The archbishop-elect will lead the province of the Anglican Church of Southeast Asia for the next 4 years. Bishop Melta Jikitais became the 6th bishop of Sabah in 2015 and was the first native of Sabah to be installed to the highest office in the church in Sabah. A father of 4 children, Melta Tais was ordained into the Anglican priesthood in 1993 and had served in various capacities in many parts of Sabah. The province of Southeast Asia contains 4 dioceses, in addition to West Malaysia, which covers Peninsular Malaya. There are 2 additional Malaysian dioceses, Kuching and Sabah in northern Borneo, and also the Diocese of Singapore. The province also extends into Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, Indonesia, and Nepal, all of which are countrywide missionary deaneries. And now to sports news. Franklin Sasere had linked up with Swiss club FC Lugano from Nigerian Professional League outfit Sunshine Stars. Sasere penned a 3-year deal with Lugano for an undisclosed fee. The forward, who has been handed the number 27 jersey, will have the opportunity of playing in the UEFA Europa League for Lugano. Morocco's Younis Marzouk and Cote d'Ivoire's Yao Eloge Kofi are the other Africans in the squad. Sasere is expected to make his debut when Lugano welcome relegation-threatened Xamas to the Canoredo Stadium on Sunday. They are placed 8th in the Super League with 6 points from 8 outings. And with our sports story, we bring this edition of News on the Hour to a close. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to always be the best you can be. I am Charles Philip Owakalam. Bye-bye.